And I believe, all right. Hello, sisters in healthcare. I'm your host, Kim Schott, and I want to welcome you to another Thriving Practice Coaching webinar, the place where female health professionals come to hear the latest breakthroughs in health technology and clinical best practices to help you pivot to a virtual practice and transform the health of your community. This webinar is brought to you by GeneSNP DNA Analysis and Isotonics, the world's most advanced nutraceuticals, to help you create a successful, integrative, functional, and lifestyle medicine practice. To get more information, visit isotonics.com/SCH OTT. Well, this is day 5 of our masterclass series on the 5 easy steps to building a profitable virtual practice, where we are looking at new models for medicine. If your healthcare practice is like most, you have an urgent need to reinvent your clinical business model and to develop specific strategies to achieve sustainable long-term growth. And we have a great turnout of healthcare professionals who are either listening to us on Facebook Live or over the Zoom webcast. Now, today's call is the direct result of the questions we get from our clients in healthcare who are struggling to understand how to use PR to capture the media's attention to promote their customized wellness programs. So, no matter what field of medicine you're in, if you want to learn how to accelerate your leadership and build better relationships, then you're in the right place. And this is your chance, as you're working through the Thriving Practice coaching system, to write down all your questions on what's stopping you in terms of getting clients online, booking appointments online dispensaries, lab testing, anything you're working on to build your virtual practice where you're getting stopped. Just post your questions in our Thriving Practice Sisterhood Facebook group, or send your questions using the webinar invitation notice. Then show up to the webinar and I'll answer each and every question that's sent to us. Please make sure you use this time to get help from us. So let's get started. Today, I'm excited again to have Lynn Sarkany joining us to discuss the emotional intelligence that you need to use in media to package and promote your customized wellness programs that align with your feminine values. Lynn, if you could say hello to everyone that's joining us, I greatly appreciate it.
Hello, everyone from San Diego, Oceanside to be exact. And good afternoon if you're West Coast, and good evening if you are East Coast. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you, Kim.
Well, thank you, Lynn. And Lynn, we have several practitioners who are joining us for the first time this evening. If you don't mind, would you please introduce yourself again, and specifically your background in healthcare?
Certainly. I have an MBA in marketing and strategic planning from the Claremont Graduate University. I am also an adjunct professor of marketing on both the graduate and undergraduate level at Brandon University. I am the principal of Market Finders. I have been in practice for 25 years, started when I was very young. A specialized area of expertise of my practice is the development of licensed healthcare practices, and that is a subset of my practice called Market Finders Medical. And I am an advocate for the preservation of effective healthcare practice development. And that is specifically when Kim asked me to be in this webinar, why I was very excited and I jumped at the chance. And so I am very, very happy with the direction that healthcare is taking, and with the effects of the pandemic, all of this going on, a lot of moving parts. And I am here to help. I am here to help you get through that process and make those moving parts work for you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Lynn, I want to begin tonight talking about emotional intelligence and why it needs to be included in the marketing of the programs that a virtual practice offers, and ultimately help you stand out in media when you're using PR. You see, in medical school, students are taught to maintain a safe psychological distance from patients and not to get too close
And that's
because caring.
necessary for survival.
Right, right. But yeah, because caring too much may cause us to lose our scientific objectivity or cause us to suffer too much in the event that the patient ends up having a bad outcome. And
Right.
while there are aspects to this view which seem logical, I have come to see this as a terrible lie, which is paradoxically responsible for much of the suffering of healthcare workers, which Dr. Marcy talked about in day one of our masterclass,
Right.
and the lack of trust in our healthcare system, as well as the diluting of our marketing message so that we no longer are seen as subject matter experts. And it is precisely by fostering and encouraging a deep human connection with patients that a healing bond is established, which I believe patients need and they deserve. But it's not just patients who need deep and meaningful connections. The health and wellness programs and packages that you are offering as a female practitioner also needs to have a deep and meaningful connection with what your community needs in order for you to find meaning in the long hours and the demanding work that your field requires of you. You know, for example, the word healing and love are all but absent from mainstream healthcare
Right.
marketing.
And what this is called really is the paradox of what is called the antiseptic attitude that many healthcare professionals develop, and they wind up that antiseptic attitude, if you're not careful, permeates everything. It permeates your practice. It permeates how you look at your practice. It permeates how you deal with your patients and how you look at how you're going to care for them. And you have to create an energy separation, a safety energy separation between you and those you are caring for. And you, however, have to maintain that for your protection, but you have to create that healthful connection between you and those you are caring for.
Right.
That also reflects in your marketing messages and how you are all facets of communication with those you are caring for. And notice, I am not using patients. I'm not saying your patients. Patients, patients, patients. Um, that is a very antiseptic term. You have to look beyond patients to those who are in your care.
Yeah.
And once you are there with the mindset of looking after those that you are caring for, a lot of the energy and the way that you are going to approach your practice, the operations of your practice and the communication and marketing of your practice changes. This is creating this is not a slow cooker pot, if you will. You can't set it and forget it. It's a matter of having a hands-on approach that allows you to communicate well with your with the people that are in your care, and also test your messaging and create that feedback loop. Realize that this is not one-sided communication. You're not talking at those who are in your care. You're talking to them and you're getting feedback. And it's important to be able to monitor that feedback. And as you train yourself to monitor that feedback and look at that, you then start to gain your own insight into how your messaging is working and how your messaging is not working.
And hold that thought for just a moment. And I want to come back to healing and love being absent from mainstream healthcare marketing. A matter of fact, it's generally considered taboo to talk about love, the love of the people who are in our care, the passion we have for healing for those who are in our care. It's almost considered taboo by the
Yeah,
medical establishment. The vanity of withholding our hearts and our caring in order to create a safe distance at an arm's length in order to build a protective barrier and buffer against our own ability to grieve along with our patients.
right.
When illness progresses beyond capabilities of calling life back, this lies at the root of not just the sickness of our healthcare system, but it's also lying is the root problem that we have in the distrust in our marketing messages.
You
So
know, there,
what I'm saying here,
yeah,
what is missing is not our emotionality, but our emotional intelligence within our marketing messages.
yes. And healthcare practitioners of all types have not been trained in this area and have not been trained for this safety and this purveyance of communication and feedback. And there are a lot of studies that are going on right now regarding the burnout that a lot of healthcare practitioners are feeling and experiencing right now because of what they have gone through in the battle with COVID. And
Right, right, Lynn. Like
it left them
we had mentioned
unprepared.
in day three that I'm sorry, in day two that right now physicians are one of the top professions that are listed for committing suicide, and
Yes,
that
unfortunately, it's tragic.
it's
It
tragic.
is sad because this is not why you chose to go into healthcare. And it's important to understand this and work with it and be able to make it work with you and for you so as that you can survive as a healthcare practitioner, and above all, that you can go back to loving yourself and loving being a healthcare practitioner. I have had a lot of healthcare practitioners that I am working with. The real sad response that I have had to deal with them on their creation of strategy for communication is that they get an attitude where they are saying where they more or less are feeling, I it's not that I don't care anymore, I can't care anymore. And if you are at you can't care anymore, you've got to go back and find all the reasons why you fell in love with becoming the healthcare practitioner that you are. And once you get right with that, it will be much more conducive to your being able to put together a virtual practice and for you to be able to create the communication strategies that we are talking about.
So, Lynn, help us remember why the camera and microphone are your friends when expressing the love and healing that a customized health and wellness program has to offer. Why is the camera and microphone your best friend?
One of the reasons why the camera and microphone are your best friend is that the people who you might potentially have in your care and the people who you already have in your care can begin to see your magnificence. It has to be made apparent to people who are looking to work with you and already work with you to see why you are special, to see your energy and
Yeah.
see that you are likable and approachable and that they can trust you
Yeah.
just explain that they can trust you. And a lot of healthcare practitioners that I have worked with over the years are afraid of the camera. Don't make me talk to anybody. They start doing that thing, and this complete people don't like a scared health practitioner that's scared of anything, much less a camera.
Right.
You want to not be afraid of that, not be afraid of how you are going to look. And you know what? If you let a little emotion shine through, and people can see that you are authentic, that is something that going out and advertising or getting patients in all of the different ways that you get them for your practice, that is something that all of those other methods can't buy. If they see that you are authentic and they can really look in the camera and see that you are who you are, that is going to attract people like a magnet to want to have you be their caregiver.
Why match your media usage and PR to your target patient category?
What happens so often when any business, but especially a healthcare practice, is going out there and looking to grow their patient base?
Yeah.
They will use a shotgun approach. They don't understand the dynamic of the patient development practice and process, and a somebody comes in and wants to sell them and add the yellow pages, let's say, and it looks cheap, so they go ahead and do it. You have to look at your patient base, and you have to look at where your patient base is getting their information. Many people
Yes.
get their information obviously from Facebook, from Zoom, from social media. If you're caring for older people, um, people over 65, if seniors are your market, guess what? It's time to actually pull an ad out in that local newspaper. For all of you younger people out there, I don't want you to forget paper and real advertising, because the thing that I am seeing right now is that social media is very exciting, but we have to look at we have to have an open mind, and we have to look at all different ways and all different media types that are out there to get to those people that potentially would want to be in our care. And we have to look at where they are getting their information. If you're treating children, for example, that's when you want to start to get ads in your local school programs and think once everybody goes back to school, for heaven's sakes. But you want to go and have an ability for them to connect with your practice where they are getting their information, what is being put in front of them.
Right, right. And I mentioned yesterday, Lynn, that marketing messages, it's unfortunate, have let go of the concept of health. Instead, what we have focused on is sick care, pharmacotherapeutic treatments, disease management, and we have to reclaim what it means to be healthy and what it means to heal. And our marketing messages need to complement that using emotional intelligence in short videos that can be repurposed for your waiting area in your practice, for your email marketing, social media marketing. I have some clients that are using TikTok, the website development, and text message marketing. Short videos that are added to your digital marketing campaigns can reveal the love and healing and tone that you want your clients and patients to experience.
Well,
Videos do that so much faster because they capture your voice, your body language better than any long written email content. Short
They capture
videos
that
work
approachability.
faster.
Now realize too, what we are up against with a message is that we are really looking at wanting to coax those that are in our care and those that potentially would be in our care off the edge. What has happened in the past year since the onset of COVID is that we have people all over the country that have been letting their health care go. They're
Mhm.
afraid to go to the doctor. They're afraid to leave the house. They have an underlying condition, and for heaven's sakes, they don't want to wind up on a respirator. That's the big thing. And so your messages have to be one of love and nurturing so as that people can feel trusting again, looking and saying, you know what, I have been putting up with this condition for the past 3 months, 6 months, however long it's been. And I feel safe and I feel like I would be able to go to that practitioner and have that practitioner help me and I will feel safe and cared for there and get my issue and get my problem solved.
And the news media and the news outlets, PR, they are looking for that type of message.
Yes, they are, because on one hand, when you turn on your news programs, they're telling you about how many shots are going into arms, how we're all going back to
Mm.
Major League Baseball, how we're all doing this, how we're all doing that. But then they kind of bring up the fine print, if you will, where they say Major League Baseball is back, but in many cases, the stadiums are only 20% full. Well, when you look at that, when you're watching the news, you're led to believe that everybody but you have gone back out there and have resumed their life normal, the way it was before March of 2020. That's not the case.
No.
We all know it. And so people are getting these conflicting messages. You have to be that media message, that source of information for those that you are caring for, that cuts through all of that and starts to get them to make sense of everything,
Yeah.
so as that they feel like you are a go-to person and a safe and nurturing go-to person for helping them to go on with their life. Because the number one thing that we are all looking for right now is we just want to get back to our lives. And we want to get back to our lives in the most robust way possible.
Right. And media and different types of PR news outlets, they're looking for how are you as a healer, a doctor, a wellness coach, how are you helping people get back to a sense of normalcy using love, using healing, using your practice as a path, as a compass, pointing
Yes.
people in the right direction.
And although a lot of people look and say, well, wait a minute, how can this be classified as news? There's a lot of news time on any local station where they are looking for a human interest story. There's nothing more human interest than a healthcare practitioner and how a healthcare practitioner is out there helping people. And so you have a chance right now, and you have an opportunity to be able to go out into your community and utilize media in a way that is going to grow your practice and help you. And in that process, you can have that extra positive and lasting effect of being able to help your community and help your community get back to normal.
Right. Right. Why create an identifiable practice image both online and in the office? Why even create that?
You want to create that in the same way that when you are going in to see a patient, perhaps you wear a lab coat and you have that look of authority, approachable authority in this case. Your image, spoken and unspoken, become recognizable by those that are in your care, and it becomes a way of bolstering your image and bolstering all of the positive things that you want to communicate and create as a result of reaching out to various market sectors for your patient base.
Right. Right. And Lynn, I want to point out that there is a clear distinction between a thriving virtual practice image or an online wellness group versus a failing virtual practice.
Yes.
In that the failing virtual practice has not reclaimed what it means to be healthy and what it means to heal in its marketing messages. For example, yesterday we talked about perverse incentives, conflicts of interest, and hidden agendas that abound in the practice of medicine and healthcare marketing. We talked
Right.
about that yesterday. And that was day 4. The antidote for this is a deep, reverent human connection rather than the frequently transactional relationships of the retail marketing industrial ecosystem. Another way of putting it, Lynn, is that many health and wellness marketing strategies are nothing more than someone saying, buy my stuff,
That's right.
buy my vitamin, buy my product. You only have 3 more days left to buy my stuff. And when you use the buy my stuff
You know why
marketing
that's,
message,
do you know why that's the case?
go ahead.
What does a practitioner care about when their main message that you can recall about them is buy my stuff?
Yeah.
What do they care about? They care about buy my stuff. They don't care about you. And you can tell that. I have had people review failed marketing messages, and I have asked them for feedback. Oh, that message doesn't set well with me. I would not want to go and get assistance from that practitioner. And the next question, obviously, in research is why?
Right.
Well, I can't put my finger on it, but I just don't feel like I can trust that person. If you are going out there and all you're pushing is product, 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 and buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, you are perceived like that. Well, here I am out west. The person on the back of the Western stagecoach that was selling the snake oil.
The peddler.
Oil.
The peddler. Yeah.
The peddler. Are you a peddler? No, you're not a peddler. I hope that nobody listening to this went into becoming a healthcare practitioner so they could go out there and be a peddler.
Right.
What an empty and hollow existence, and an empty and hollow way to try to go out there and attempt to have some sort of a practice, and much less the virtual segment of your practice.
Right. And Lynn, as I've reviewed failed marketing messages as it relates to virtual practices, and trust me, ladies, I'm not here to sling mud. I'm not here to point fingers. I'm not here to do that.
No.
But I have reviewed hundreds of failed marketing messages. And when
Yes, so
you
have I.
and so have you, Lynn. And so have you. And so when you use the buy my stuff marketing message, you look no different than the CVS Minute Clinic, a Walgreens, or a Walmart Wellness Hub. You identify yourself as transactional instead of healing. And that's not the type of karma I know I would want, or many of my female clients tell me who are
Well, and I
practitioners.
can tell you
That
it doesn't
that's
work.
not the type of karma they want either. And when your practice image instead is based on healing, your image as a subject matter expert and your practice's image is up leveled towards health
Yeah.
and wellness and well-being. And that's exactly what the media is looking for, as well as PR representatives who would want to work with you and your message. So for example, if I sell you a supplement, buy my stuff. So if I sell you a supplement or a nutraceutical that's full of binders and fillers that your body can't absorb, then I make money and you remain sick. But if I sell you a customized wellness program from my virtual practice that includes mentoring, that includes love, that includes nurturing, that includes an explanation of what healing actually looks like, because it may have been years since you've known or even seen what healing is supposed to look like. If I sell you that, in that exchange, I can still make money and you can actually up level your health because the program is now customized. And I am trying to give you a program that involves working with nourishment, nurturing, and healing. And that program is customized to exactly what your body needs. And I'll talk more about the karma that is involved in an up level type of exchange in a later webcast. But here, I want to tell you and clearly give you a different form of marketing versus the buy my stuff marketings out there. Instead, why not go after a more nurturing, customized approach that gives step by step guidance?
I actually have a practice example. I have a practice that I am working with that was stuck in that buy my stuff mode.
Yeah.
First of all, they went out there and made sure that they were offering better quality supplements and the highest quality supplement that wasn't going to have fillers and schmutz in it that was is not good for patients, just to keep them coming back. But on top of that, the nurturing part of it, an example of the nurturing part of it, is that they started to have dialogue with their patients to tell them what supplements on the virtual side of their practice to buy and why, what that supplement, what that treatment was going to do for them, how to use it, get some guidance on how to use it, dovetail that supplement into the care that they receive when they're coming into the office. All of this needs to be tied together. You don't have just a virtual side to your practice. You don't have just an office side of your practice. They've got to come together like this. And when they come together like that, and you conveniently make your patients be able to readily see how everything works together, that is how you create that trust and that interactive package.
And yesterday we talked about the erosion of trust with our healthcare system and more importantly, even our physicians. We talked about that, but I won't even go, in addition to your practice example, a practice example that I have with primary care physicians who, and many who are listening has seen this happen where they were offering supplements and nutraceuticals from a company that was selling their data to other big organizations. And I'll even go to the point of saying that they were working with DNA analysis and genetic testing companies that were selling their data. And
Good.
what had happened in this situation was that when the patients went to go get a life insurance policy under review, because that genetic data was not autonomous, it was directly
Not
tied to
protected.
it was directly tied to that person. They were denied life insurance because of the genetic information that was held in that testing that showed that they were susceptible to certain type of heart conditions
Wow.
when when those specific genes were expressing themselves. So my point in telling you this is that just like Lynn had shared with you, you need to be mindful about what has happened in healthcare and what is happening in healthcare, and who you are affiliating your practice with. You need to be asking yourself, is this lab selling my patient's data? Is this supplement company selling my data? Or instead, is there some autonomy here that is protecting this information? Because we want to keep this relationship with our clients and our patients.
Anyone that you connect with your practice becomes a part of your practice.
Exactly.
Have to be careful because any slip up in their reputation, unfortunately, becomes a slip up in your reputation. And
Yeah.
so you have to choose your partners very, very carefully.
Right. Exactly.
Buck stops with you.
Right, it does. And it also impacts your media or your PR and your media as well. Because if the PR firm, if the media sees who you've partnered with as someone who's a little sketchy, or they have a poor Better Business Bureau rating on
You
there,
go
guess
along
what?
with leadership.
Yeah, that's your reputation as well. PR firms are looking at you and they're scrutinizing, who are you promoting? Who is your partnership with?
Yes, very, very much so. And so you've got to check that all out. Also, because if you are loving and nurturing your patients, for heaven's sakes, you have to protect them and you have to protect their data and protect their information. So it goes without saying that anyone that you are connecting your practice with has to have your patients, those in your care, in their best interest as well.
Right. Lynn, why ensure that your media usage and your image become a connective tissue that ensures an all-around positive patient experience? Let's dive into that positive
Perfect.
patient experience message here.
Your patients have to see all of the contact with your practice as one entity. A lot of times what happens in medical practice marketing development is that the website is compartmentalized over here. Any kind of media or any kind of speaking engagement we do is compartmentalized over there. Social media is compartmentalized in a third area. What you have to realize is that there are points of these are each points of contact, and as your patients, as those in your care are coming in contact with your business, everything from the image of your office when they are walking in, the image on your website has to be recognizable and connectable. Any kind of forms that they are filling out have to have that image. If they're writing down their insurance information for you, everything has to be recognizable so as that they can create a collective identity. There is no compartmentalization of identity. You have
Oh,
to realize that as a patient is walking through their practice, their experience with your practice, they are coming in contact with all of these different parts, moving parts of how you are communicating with them. And they all have to look like they are coming from the same place. I
Right.
would see things like logo development, use of color, use of patterning information, change from one format and one modality of marketing that is used to another. Everybody has to stop that. They have to get everything marching in lockstep.
Mhm.
That connective tissue is created and there is a commonality of patient experience as they are communicating with your practice. Also, that commonality of experience is going to create a way of having them be able to depend on you. You will look more dependable, you will look more continuous.
Right.
And again, these are things from a subconscious level. I love this part of marketing. It's that part of marketing where people are saying, well, I can't really put my finger on why I feel this way, but I feel this way. These connective tissue issues for the marketing communication of your practice are a way for them to say, I can't really put my finger on it, but I can tell that dealing with that practitioner makes me feel very solid and very confident in how they are going to help me.
Right. Right. And all our coaching programs, Lynn, with female practitioners, we focus with precision on the patient experience, especially on when it comes to online reputation management, because the media and the PR firms, they're looking at practitioners' Google reviews. They're looking at their LinkedIn reviews. They're looking at their Facebook reviews. They're looking at that. So
Right.
let's talk about what a patient is currently experiencing. Let's talk about that. For example, the average wait time for a primary care appointment right now is something like 3 to 4 weeks. In some geographies in America, it's more like 6 to 8 weeks. And after hours availability is non-existent, completely non-existent.
Not with directly with your practitioner, with somebody that is in urgent care, and hopefully they'll be nice.
Yeah, right. And so it's either urgent care or ER. And when you get an appointment in those areas, it's a 7 or 11 minute visit. So I've reviewed enough client and patient surveys where they felt that 11-minute visit was all about band-aids and quick fixes. It's one single problem at a time. And if you have more than one problem, you have to make another appointment.
Back in line.
Yeah. So here's a solution we coach female practitioners on. Why not build a customized package and program that includes other healthcare professionals, other coaches who complement you but don't compete with you, to offer monthly mentoring on things like sleep, fitness, positive social life, relaxation, hydration, diet, and I can go on, because a more loving and emotionally intelligent approach is to offer a customized program that includes other professionals and allows you to be your client's Sherpa, your patient's guide on their wellness journey.
And this is why that process is so phenomenal. It is phenomenal because when you are a patient, when you're experiencing that as a patient, you now feel like everybody that is on that you have a healthcare team that cares about you. Everybody is aware of your situation. And in short, the left hand and the right hand know what they're doing.
And the PR and media love that. They love
Yes.
seeing collaboration with their local community healthcare. Lynn, why work to stay abreast of new developments and breakthroughs in your subject matter expertise? Why even do that? Why stay abreast of new developments?
Marketing is a funny thing. There's a saying in practice marketing. Your practice survives based on everything going on inside your practice and everything else going on outside in the world.
Yeah.
And so you cannot stick your head in the sand and not pay attention to breakthroughs that are going on in your specific area of expertise, societal happenings. Right now, what are we all doing? We're all looking at whether COVID cases are, COVID is consuming us.
Yeah.
And hopefully something else will consume us soon. But right now, all of the happening is COVID going up? Is COVID going down? How many people are getting shots? People are going to be coming to you based on your area of treatment expertise, and they are going to be wanting you to help them to make sense of what's going on out in the world. And you have to know what is going on out there, and you have to keep abreast of new breakthroughs. There is nothing that builds trust more than if you are in consultation with your patient and you can say, based on the situation that you're experiencing right now, I was just reading and just heard about a new breakthrough, and I believe that this might be something that would be able to help you.
Right. Right.
People feel the competency level and that their practitioners are on the ball.
And they're showing them what healing looks like. And you know what? Lynn, when it comes to new developments in your subject matter area of expertise, we also need to look at what your competition is doing. Okay. For
Mhm.
example, CVS Minute Clinics, they're offering what they consider health and wellness services.
They can sell you.
Yeah, and I'm talking everything from eyelash. This is CVS Minute Clinics I'm
Yeah.
reading here. Everything from eyelash lengthening consultations, pelvic exams, mental health exams. I mean, this is everything. And you don't have to just take my word for it. You can go on the CVS Minute Clinic wellness and physical area of their website. They're doing earwax removal, physicals, immunity testing, weight loss programs. This is what CVS is offering out there, and they are not subject matter experts. So, sisters,
No, because they're trying to sell you something on aisle 5.
we're in this together as subject matter experts, not just as individuals, not just me, but we can do this as a profession, as healthcare advocates, as a guild, as a specialty, in fellowship and solidarity. I think that what that looks like and where all this work stems from is that we have to reclaim our sovereignty to put our clients and our patients' best interests first. We have to
Yes.
reclaim the power to decide what matters most in our work and with our clients. And unfortunately, with the mainstream and the conventional retail system, its current flow, we've allowed those things to be completely delegated
This
and,
is
and not
something
and
we're
not
taking.
to other, not just to other clinicians or other doctors or even to other healers or other people involved in wellness and patient care, but to those retail commodity based parties that have nothing to do with any of those things. That is what has happened, and that's why the PR, the media, the public relation outlets, they're looking. They're they're wondering, where are the subject matter experts on healing, on nurturing, on trust? They're
And
looking for
you,
you.
as a practitioner, have the power to be one point of light in a billion points of light of each practitioner that is going to say, I'm going to reclaim that. And I am going to go out there and let it be known that I put my patients first.
And Lynn, why make your patients feel like why make your patients feel like you are there at the exact moment when they need you?
you want, well, if, let's take a moment and take a step back, and everybody is a practitioner that is listening to this, but
Yeah.
everybody is also a human being. And so you oftentimes find yourself walking in the shoes of being a patient. So I want everybody to step out of their practitioner shoes for a minute and step into the patient shoes.
Yeah.
It is important for you to understand how a patient is feeling.
Right.
Emotions are going on from a patient's perspective. You know well enough what is going on in your head and in your heart as a practitioner. What is going on in the patient's shoes? What is working for the patient? What is that emergent issue, emergent problem? How is it making the patient feel? And above all, how is the patient wanting that issue to be solved? Realize that we are all problem solvers. We are all out there to help people, and we are all out there to solve problems. And so when you realize that somebody has a problem and an issue, we don't want that problem or issue solved 6 months from now. We want it solved today.
Yeah.
And so that's why having a virtual practice and having them be able to access you easily online allows them to start to get that issue solved immediately, if not sooner.
Right. And Lynn, you have heard me say that I don't believe urgent care should be a thing. You've heard me say that. And
Yes.
based on the programs we've built for other healthcare practitioners, I believe that when a customized program and direct pay model is developed, then a primary care physician is also a patient's urgent care physician.
Right, of
That
course.
so if something happens like tonight on a Saturday night, you get
Nurturing
you get
remote.
severe. Hold on, hold that thought, Lynn. It's Saturday night, beautiful Saturday night in Michigan, by the way, but you've got severe abdominal cramps. You don't go to the ER. You have your healthcare practitioner. You've got your healthcare guide on speed dial. They unlock the office if necessary and determine the appropriate level of care, either in person or on a telehealth appointment. And there's
Right.
no charge for that because it's part of the customized program that has a monthly membership that costs less than $5 a day. Less than $5 a day. Compare that to going straight to the ER, Lynn, getting coughed on by 20 people with COVID or something worse in the waiting room and waiting for several hours to get your exam and treatment at the cost of no less than $600 to $3,000.
That's
Based
right.
on the data we're seeing, based on the data we're seeing on a membership based customized program or a direct primary care model,
Because
that's
there's
what is needed to begin moving into the direction of fixing a broken healthcare system and letting your clients and your patients know that you're there at the exact moment that they need you.
right. Because when there is a need for urgent care, there is not a greater need out there for those that are in your care to be able to know that you are there for them. And you know, I really think that healthcare needs to come full circle, because if you look at the way that healthcare was practiced, let's say 100 years ago, okay, we didn't have the technology and the technological advancements that we do now, but we had the care. And the care got lost along the way, and it was thought that it could be replaced by these technological advancements. What we really need to do now is come full circle and add that care component back in, so as that we have a full blown approach of being able to be there to help those that are in our care whenever they need it.
And Lynn, we can, as sisters in healthcare, all of us, ladies, I'm talking to you. We can do this as a guild, as a group that are taking one step forward to change the broken healthcare system. This is the renaissance in healthcare. And I want to thank you, Lynn, for sharing this wonderful information this evening. But before I go, I want
Yes.
to announce to everyone that I am offering a 60-minute complimentary strategy session for serious practitioners, serious wellness practitioners, serious. But these, if I'm talking to you, then I know that you want to move forward a little quicker when it comes to getting more clients online and building your virtual practice. Basically, what happens is my secretary scheduled time for us to meet on Zoom, and we get an opportunity to get to know you, to listen to your journey, review your practice goals, and offer solutions. You come to the call prepared with a goal in mind, and my team provides a strategy. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, I can really help you in depth. Now, I also want to let you know that we have posted in our Thriving Practice Sisterhood Facebook group so that we can get feedback from our participants. You're going to see a post that says it's basically a masterclass journal prompt that asks, what is one thing your clients and patients, or what is one thing you hope your clients and patients remember the most about you? And look for the hashtag day 5. What is one thing you hope your clients and patients remember the most about you? And after reading that, what other sisters share, you might get inspired to take some action towards creating a practice image focused on health and the journey of healing. And that, my sisters, is what the media wants. And that is what your patients and clients want as well. So take care, sisters. I love you. And remember, we're all in this together. Lynn, good night. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
everything.
And good night, everybody.